And good morning. It's now 7:04 on this Tuesday, June 15th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. We've got a terrific Tuesday going for us this morning. Sun is shining. It's not going to be hardly as warm today, and we are glad to have you with us this morning and glad to be on the air for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Tracy Polk joins us today. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
You weren't here 2 weeks ago.
I was not, but I know that I had a wonderful fill-in, and I heard that they did a great job.
Well, they did fine. They really did, but I didn't have your little cue sheet with some questions to ask, and we did fine, but I'm bragging on you a little bit here. We appreciate you. We miss you when you're gone.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, you have somebody today that we're going to enjoy talking to. She's been here once before.
Yes.
And before you introduce her, is anything you got to say? Your vacation, did you go out of town?
Well, yes. My family and I, we just spent some time in the lake, Memorial Week. It was a little bit chilly. Today it's almost 100 degrees, so weather can change so rapidly here in Tennessee. I know it's kind of a joke that we have going on, but we did have a relaxing time away. So, yeah, thanks for asking.
And refreshed and back to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Tell us who we got today.
Yeah, so our hospital became part of the Vanderbilt health system almost 2 years ago. So we're coming up on our 2-year mark. But the Vanderbilt Eye Institute of Lebanon was here in the community way before we became part of the Vanderbilt health system. And we have Dr. Jessica Mather with us. And we're excited to hear what she tells us all about eyeballs today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you again. And I guess I have a special reason for enjoying your presence here with us and all. And I mentioned this the last time you were here because within the last year, I've had 2 cataract surgeries, and you did them both, and and I can see a lot better. So sight is wonderful, and if you don't have it, you're really missing something. And it must be rewarding to you to get to help people improve their seeing, maybe save them from going blind at times, the different things. We're going to talk about a lot of that today, but it is a rewarding thing, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely. I love to be able to just help people on their day-to-day activities. And, especially with cataract surgery, cataracts come on so slowly, people really don't even realize how much vision they've lost, and to see how excited they are when they can see again and all the things they can see and do, it's a great feeling.
Well, since this is, I think, your second time to be with us here, and there are probably people listening today who weren't the last time, and if they were listening the last time, they might not remember. We want to know all about you that you want to tell us quickly this morning.
Sure. So I'm a comprehensive ophthalmologist. I was raised in Lebanon, Tennessee, moved here when I was 2 years old, and my father is a primary care physician, Dr. Littman, and so I know the community really well, and decided pretty early on I'd be a doctor and went on off to do all my training. And then when I decided to start practice, was given the opportunity to come back to my hometown. And so I've been able to be practicing here ever since.
Was this what you were thinking about in your younger days when you want to be a doctor? Or were you going to be maybe do something different, not eyes? Or has this always been it?
No, I had 2 grandparents that were doctors. My dad was a doctor, and I kind of initially, for a while, thought I'd do something different. When I was really young, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then I thought I wanted to do law and politics, and then I decided that my calling was medicine. I'd been pushing that away for a while, but ophthalmology was definitely not even on my radar at first. I thought maybe primary care, that's what I knew, what my dad did, and I love the relationship with patients, and so I thought that's kind of where I would end up, so...
Well, I'm wondering what kind of politician you would be.
I still like politics. It's just interesting, though.
I think you made the right choice. I would hate to be in Washington, D.C. right now. Anyway, that's my opinion. But as far as where did you go to school?
So, I started out here at Friendship Christian from 1st through 12th grade, and then I went to Florida State for college, 4 years, and then I went to medical school at East Tennessee State here in way out in the corners in East Tennessee, and then did my residency at Georgetown and Washington Hospital Center. So I did get to spend a few years in DC.
How long have you actually had your practice?
It'll be 6 years in August.
6 years. Much change in that time?
Oh, a lot. A big change, mainly in the physicians that work there. We still have a great support staff. The surgery center has changed. We've had 2 longtime doctors, Dr. Shank and Dr. Evans, retire. And so we have several new doctors on board, more specialists that come into our office. And of course, the acquisition of Vanderbilt of our local hospital has been a big difference.
Well, Vanderbilt Eye Institute treats a wide array of eye diseases, offers comprehensive care. We want to talk about some of that. Primary eye care and vision screenings. I guess that's where everybody starts.
Right. Yeah. So I do provide adult care. I'll pretty much, if it's an older child, I'll see that. But we've got a great pediatric eye care system in our same location. So for adults, we'll typically see anything from just a general eye exam, glasses complaint, contact lenses, to patients having medical conditions that affect their eyes like diabetes. And then, of course, treat medical conditions like glaucoma, macular degeneration, and those that might require surgery like cataracts.
Do you consider, I think you said you are an ophthalmologist, is that?
Yes.
So that's a higher step than an optometrist.
Well, not higher. They're both doctors, but I have a medical. I went to medical school. They went to optometry school, so they get their doctorate of optometry and don't perform surgery. And then I do my medical degree, kind of learning about everything in medicine, and then I have to do 4 years or 3 years in general and internal medicine of straight ophthalmology, where we learn surgery. So they focus, and they really are experts in things like glasses and contact lenses and that thing, and also can do eye exams, but they don't do the surgery portion.
Right. Okay. But you have more training if you're an ophthalmologist. It's longer to go to school.
It's longer because we have to do medical school than our residency.
Yeah. Well, as far as cataracts, we were talking about that earlier, and we can probably talk about that to the break. There's quite a bit to talk about that. Is there a general age when that happens, or does it happen to younger people? Is it mostly older people?
Well, the general population, I may start to see a little bit of a sign of cataract at age 40, because all it is the natural change in your lens you're born with. And that will gradually change over the course of decades. I tell patients most of the time I operate on them are in their 70s, but the youngest I've done is 30, and the oldest I've done is somewhere in the 90s. But high and away, it's usually the 70s. You can even have congenital cataracts, something that you're born with as a baby, and so those even have to be done. But most, different reasons can cause, genetics can have a play as well, medical conditions.
Dr. Mather, when I think of my eye, we are very protective of our eyes. You don't want to even get anything in it. It can be very painful, all this kind of stuff. We try to take care of it. It's a very delicate organ, I guess, or whatever the eye is. But you've studied all of this. You know all about the eye. I mean, it's nothing to you, I guess, because you do it all the time, to do the surgery, to do the very, what all is that? I'm glad to be almost put to sleep, or to not have to think about what somebody's doing to my eye when they're doing that. But that's that everyday thing with you.
It is. It definitely is a skill that's taken time to, I guess, master, if you will, because it takes a lot of time and thought and a lot of training to get there. And it does help when the patients are relaxed and comfortable, because even the thought of myself having surgery on my eyes, I'll be nervous when it gets to that point, because I know what they're doing, and it's your livelihood. It's how you see. So I always take that into consideration.
But you have done this so much, it's almost routine, isn't it? Especially cataracts.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really it's what I do. Sometimes multiple times a week. It's what I love to do, and it is kind of just what I do love about it is it's just different enough. Every eye is different. And so every surgery is slightly different, although we do very similar steps, a very similar type case every time.
Most of your surgeries very successful and
Absolutely. Yeah. We don't like to have something that's different. We want it to be routine and boring, right?
what's the worst case scenario?
Well, there's always that rare chance you could get a devastating infection and go blind. So blindness is always, I always say that's having permanent vision loss is that extremely rare possibility with any surgery, but with eyes, it's losing vision. But again, extremely rare, and that's why we do one eye at a time as well.
Yeah. Well, what percentage maybe of what you do would be cataracts?
As far as surgery goes, it's 99% of all the surgery I do is cataract surgery. So I've kind of taken a special interest in that, and there's definitely enough cataract surgery in Wilson County, so that keeps me busy.
Okay. Yeah. It is time for us to take a break. Dr. Jessica Mather is here with the Vanderbilt Eye Institute. Tracy Pope is here, Director of Community Relations for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And this is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:15. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the Lifetime Brake Pad Guarantee. With a purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns the vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still moving right now on I-40 East through Kingston Springs. It's starting to pick up pretty good now. All the traffic flow coming in from Dixon County. Still not too bad on 65, at least at the moment, as you come past Concord Road, Moores Lane, up through the Brentwood, Williamson County area, 7300 block, Old Charlotte Pike. That rate should be cleared up hopefully in just a few more minutes. True Friends Moving Company is hiring. Call today, 240-2811. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on a Tuesday morning. Our program again presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Tracy, we talked a little about your vacation, time for relaxation and family time. What's anything new from the hospital?
Yeah, I think just like around the world, COVID is still a very centered topic at our hospital. We have been offering vaccinations at the hospital as an extension of the Wilson County Health Department since February. We've been able to vaccinate over 14,000 residents of Wilson County. We have reduced our hours, so we're there 2 days a week. It's Monday and Friday, 8 to 5, and then we do have a break for lunch around 12 to 1. But once again, anyone is available to come receive the COVID vaccine. It is free to anyone that would like that. We also have available Vanderbilt infectious disease physicians that are open and wanting to talk to groups, entities, your business group, civic groups, anyone that would just like to know more information about the COVID vaccine. I've seen the program several times, and it's very easy to understand, and then they have open discussion, questions, all those questions that people might have. You read all this stuff on the internet, and information is so confusing, and that is what is wonderful about our hospital, that we are no longer a standalone hospital. We are an extension of Vanderbilt University Medical Center, and with that becomes all the specialties that are available. And in this day and time, the infectious disease department is very important. So you just need to reach out to the hospital. We can get that scheduled, and we are more than happy to come and help educate anyone that just has questions and wants to know a little bit more.
All right, again, Dr. Jessica Mather here with the Vanderbilt Eye Institute. Where's your office?
It's at 1670 West Main Street here in Lebanon, across from the Ford dealership, right next to Taco Bell.
Once upon a time in the dark ages, I think the Maple Hill Drive-In was about where your office is there. But that was before your time, and I was much younger, okay? Well, anything else you want to say about cataract surgery this morning? You said that, I don't know if we really talked about the cause or not, but most people are going to have cataracts if they live long enough.
Right. Yeah. If we live long enough, eventually, if we're lucky enough to live long enough, then we usually will get them. But not everyone. I have some great patients who've gotten into their 90s, and really, at this point, I tell them you'll never need surgery. So you could be one of the lucky few.
All right, let's talk about glaucoma.
Sure.
That's a word we've been hearing about for a long time. What is glaucoma? What are the symptoms?
So glaucoma is an eye disease that causes elevated pressure in your eyeball where the fluid, it's not related to blood pressure, but the fluid builds up pressure when it has trouble draining out of the eye. Typically, you don't have symptoms early on because it can gradually cause peripheral vision loss. And so, unfortunately, it's one of those things that we don't catch, you would not catch until late in the disease. However, when we do our eye exams, just a comprehensive eye exam, it's one of the main things we screen for by checking the pressure and by looking at your optic nerve to see if there's any signs of it. And then if it warrants it, we do further testing. The key to glaucoma is catching it early so that we can treat it appropriately to prevent blindness. It is one of the eye diseases that can cause true blindness, and so it can come on with age. So it is also a reason why we recommend that at age 65, everyone get yearly eye exams so we can always screen for that.
How successful is the treatment process? Will most people, if they catch it fairly early, are they going to be okay?
Yes, most people we catch it early and we can treat with eye drops alone. And eye drops will keep the pressure low. We monitor them and can prevent any blindness, sometimes even any symptoms forever. But definitely by preventing blindness. To become truly blind from glaucoma is very rare. And in that situation, it would be someone that truly just did not come back they knew they had it or they never were diagnosed and it became too advanced and never came back for follow-up. And
you said there's no symptoms in the beginning.
Right.
What
Yeah.
happens later on if it's not treated? Is there pain?
Usually there's not pain. It's simply vision loss. So you lose peripheral vision gradually till your peripheral vision constricts, and then it just kind of almost tunnel vision. And so that's when you can go blind.
I guess that would be a reason for a periodic eye exam.
Right.
That's reason enough.
Absolutely, especially if there's a family history. Although it's not completely genetic, definitely higher risk in those who have family history.
Well, is there anything that causes that? Any way we can prevent glaucoma?
There really isn't. And so it's related to family history, genetics, and aging. And some people are going to be more predisposed to it. So nothing you can do with your diet or exercise or anything like that will prevent that.
But early on, those eye drops are enough to keep that pressure off and avoid.
Usually, I compare it to blood pressure. Sometimes it takes one pill, sometimes it takes 2 or 3. Sometimes it takes one eye drop, sometimes it takes 2 or 3. If that doesn't work, we can do laser and sometimes even surgery, but there's lots of ways to treat it.
All right, let's talk about macular degeneration. That's another thing we hear quite a bit off, and I don't know what percentage, but it's not something we're a phrase or a condition we're unfamiliar with, really. But I doubt many people know exactly what it is.
Sure, and it's very common, especially people with lighter colored skin. We see it frequently. I see it every day in the office, and a lot of people worry right when they hear that they're going to go blind, but there's extreme levels. There's barely there, only I can see it in the eye, not affecting your vision. And then there's the severe forms that can cause a lot of central vision loss. So what it is aging change in the retina. And the retina is simply the wallpaper of the eye. It's the part of the eye that helps with your neurosensory and your ability to see. And it affects, like I mentioned, the very center of your vision. And so your peripheral, this is opposite of glaucoma, your peripheral always will stay intact, but your ability to read and see directly in front of you can gradually, over the course of years or decades, deteriorate.
Well, I guess worst case scenario, somebody would lose their vision with macular degeneration.
So in the absolute worst forms I've ever seen, the patients are still able to walk in the room and sit down on their own. And that's because their peripheral vision is still intact. And that's an important thing to know versus glaucoma, where your world can go black. And I think people worry about blindness is in that fear of everything just being black. And glaucoma can do that, but macular degeneration will not. You will always maintain that peripheral vision. Although you may not drive, you may not be able to read, you can adapt to that, and you can use that peripheral vision to get around.
Okay, let's talk about retinal tears and detachments and symptoms maybe of those.
Sure. So retinal tears are what eventually lead to a detachment. These can occur at mostly any age, although I'd say most frequently it occurs in your 60s or so. It initially starts symptoms. For this one, you actually do have symptoms, and they come on acutely where you can get flashes of light and new what we call floaters. People describe these as bugs or strands in their vision that float around and move. And sometimes these are normal changes and aging change. But if it tears too hard on the retina, this jelly tears too hard, it can cause a tear. And if that's not treated, it can continue to progress and cause a detachment. And that's what requires surgery. So if it's caught early enough, you can get a tear fixed by just laser alone. If it progresses to a detachment, you may need surgery.
Well, what does everybody have a floater every once in a while?
Not everyone, but I will say that all the floaters are is the jelly in the back of our eye. So as we get older, I tell people everything gets a little looser. Well, so does the jelly in your back of your eye, and it can kind of start to move around, and that's what a floater is. So most people start to get those changes in their 60s, but there are some younger people that can get some floaters every now and then. And not every floater is bad, but it really needs to be checked out so we can determine which type it is.
All right, so if that, well, if you just had one and it didn't anymore, worry about that.
It'd be a good idea to get it checked out. I'll tell you that. Yeah, at least once to make sure it's okay.
Well, here again, you said most of what you do actually is cataract surgery. That's you're just a cataract surgeon. That's your specialty, I take it.
For surgery, but I treat a lot of glaucoma. I see a lot of diabetics and treat a lot of other conditions that are non-surgical. So although cataracts, what I treat surgically, I do a lot of just general eye care, not related to cataracts as well.
Well, you have a number of people in your office. They all those there, they work for you. There's not another person of your stature in the office, right?
No, there are several doctors, cataract surgeons like me, and then we have some specialist surgeons as well that come in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have several doctors in our office that also do cataract surgery and comprehensive ophthalmology. We have some other specialists that focus on glaucoma alone. We have an oculoplastic specialist and several retina doctors. And they come in from Nashville a couple times a month into Lebanon to see patients. So it saves the patient from having to go downtown.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, you're there all the time.
Unless I'm in Smithville or Carthage, because I go to those locations too. But Lebanon's my home base.
Well, you are quite busy, aren't you?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
we haven't asked anything about your personal life. You're married?
I'm married. Yeah, I have 2 kids, 3 and 5.
Oh, boy and a girl?
A boy and a girl. My little girl just turned 5, Ava, and then my little boy's 3. His name's Wes. So
Well, you have a really nice family. What's your husband do?
he's a physician as well. He's a radiologist.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got about 3 minutes left here. Dr. Jessica Mather, if you're joining us late here, anything else? We've covered quite a bit of territory here, but maybe kind of sum up what you do, what we've said here this morning, or anything else you want to tell the folks that are listening.
Sure. Just, it's a great idea, I'd say around age 40, if you haven't had an eye exam, just to come over, let us do a comprehensive one. We're very thorough. We have a great team at our clinic, and we can really kind of screen you for these conditions we've talked about, like cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration. And depending on what we find, we could potentially find something very early and help you in the long run. And then, like I said, at 65, it's good to get yearly eye exams.
Well, it's good to know we have somebody here in our community who is a real professional, and I can say that from experience because you did the cataract surgery on both my eyes, and it used to be, you see that sign up there that says no alcoholic beverages allowed. I forget which eye, the one that was the worst. I could cover my other one. I could not read that. and I can see it fine now. So you did a good job.
Well, thank you.
If I can brag a little bit, congratulate
thank
you,
you.
or whatever. And Tracy, we always let thanks for being with us, and
Sure.
we wish you well. Hope
Thank
you
you.
continue to help people, and that it is rewarding for them as it is for you. How's that?
It is. Thank you very much.
Now, Tracy, we always give you the last word, and we've got about a minute and a half here this morning.
Yeah. So Dr. Jessica Mather, she is accepting new patients, and she's located at the Vanderbilt Eye Institute of Lebanon, which she said is across from the Ford dealership behind the Taco Bell. You can also find all this information on the Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital website. So it's vanderbiltwilsoncountyhospital.com. We have all the Vanderbilt locations of clinics on our website, easy to find hyperlinks to their homepage. So if anyone is interested or just looking for a new physician, a new specialty, that's where you can find their information.
Well, it's almost summertime, and we hit 90 or better yesterday. I think it's going to be a little bit less today. There must have been a little rain that came last night. I missed it.
That I did too, but as I got up to look at my flowers to see if they needed some water, it looked like they had a little bit last night, so I was thankful for that.
Well, the hot weather doesn't bother me, and I enjoy the summertime, and I think it's great. It's certainly great to have you all with us today, and I guess we'll see you next time.
You will, yes, I'll be here.
All right, great. That's part one of Coleman and Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
It's now 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have Lamprey quality tractor implements, including cutters, finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 5-year gearbox warranty. Extremely durable and well built. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's on the increase even more now out here on 24, passing Harding Place. All that traffic coming in out of Rutherford County. Briley Parkway exit ramp there at Centennial Boulevard. They're still working that crash. Donaldson Pike near the interstate on the scene of an earlier accident as traffic really picks up on Vietnam Vets right now. All the traffic leaving Sumner County. Princess Hot Chicken is now open inside the Assembly Food Hall near the National Museum of African American Music on Broadway. Log on today, princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
West Tree Service, locally owned and operated in Lebanon, Tennessee. With over 25 years experience, our primary goal is to provide high-quality professional service with attention to detail. At West Tree Service, we use better equipment to be more efficient, which equals reasonable prices for our customers. We offer free estimates with no obligation. We are licensed and fully insured. West Tree Service, honest service, says professional, courteous, and on time. For more information, visit westtreecare.com or call 615-456-2011.
It's not going to be quite as hot as it has been the past few days. Temperatures today will top out in the mid-80s with plenty of sunshine. For your Wednesday, skies will be mostly sunny with highs in the mid-80s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. It is a Tuesday. It's time for us to talk with Sean Dozier about Hearthside Senior Living. Hearthside Senior Living, Retirement Assisted Living Community, 215 Castleides Avenue North. And Sean is the Executive Director. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. It's always great to be here with you.
Well, it's always great to see you.
You're about to say something. You're about to say, I believe, and you didn't get to say it. And I always regret when that on-air light comes on because I miss what you're about to say. But you don't have to say it.
Well, we were talking about baseball and how much how good the baseball players are, young baseball players we have in our area here, and that's enough.
Well, I think I was telling you, I think baseball's coming back. I think a lot of people are more interested in it.
And of course, since we've got the University of Tennessee and the Vanderbilt Commodores.
A lot of people will be watching.
And I think they're in opposite brackets.
They are.
So if they meet, it'll be in the finals, and wouldn't that be something?
That'd be great. That'd be great.
All right, we better talk about
Well,
Hartside.
it's always great to be here to talk about Hartside, and we have a wonderful community, and of course we have our assisted living on one side, and then we have our independent living homes on the other side. It's a wonderful senior living community, as we like to say, right in the heart of Lebanon. We have a great community. We have a great staff. This past week we honored Crystal Alexander. She has been there 20 years. She's been our lead dietary manager, and she's just done a wonderful job. We had a big fish fry for her, and we invited some board members, and we just really appreciate what she's done over the past few years. We have a great staff, and today I brought one of our best, and that is Janet Presley. She does our admissions and does our front office work, and I just wanted you to meet her. She might be here a couple of times during the year when I'm out. Betty or her might be here. So Janet Presley's here. She's a local girl. She's been here in Lebanon. She's been here a long time. So I appreciate her being here.
Janet, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Welcome to our program. I'm doing fine. I hope you are too.
I am.
How did you get started at Hartside?
I worked with Sean at a nursing home here in Lebanon, and when he left to go to Hartside and was telling me how great it was, I was like, you need to find a spot for me, and he did.
I certainly did.
So what exactly do you do?
I work in the front office. I enter the phones, doors, meet the guests as they come in. I take people on tours. I do the admissions. I make sure everybody in the independent living stays happy. And
Well, I wouldn't
whatever
think
Sean
that's
gets me to
too
do.
hard to do. That's such a nice place down there.
It is a nice place, but we know we'll have the occasional light bulb go out and somebody's not happy because their kitchen's dark or something like that, and they'll call up and we get it arranged to get it fixed.
Yeah, well, good. So you do like what you're doing.
I do. I love it.
Yeah.
She does a great job, Coleman, and if you come into Hartside, you'll see her first, and she sort of runs the front office for us and just keeps everybody kind of in line and everybody going in the right direction. And I really appreciate all she does. Our families really love her, and our residents love her, and our staff, think the world of her. So I really appreciate her and all she does.
Has the last year been a little extra trying with the COVID and all the things related to that?
It was a little hard keeping masks on the residents and getting everybody signed in, temperatures checked and that kind of stuff. And it was hard seeing the residents having to go so long without seeing their families and friends.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess you do get attached to the people that are there.
You do. You can't help but, because they want you to help them fix their cell phones. They have little smartphones and they'll push the buttons and get them locked up, and they depend on you to do little stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know, it's just like family.
Boy, I could use you myself. Well, you're skilled in that area.
Yes.
Well, that's good. What else we got?
Well, I just want to say people are getting back out there touring. They're getting back out there looking at different communities in our area, and we certainly want to be one of those options. If you want a tour, just stop by. We'll be glad to give you a tour. Janet will be glad to give you a tour. I'll be glad to give you a tour. You can go to our website, hartsideliving.com, and you can check out more information and get our pricing and all that good stuff. We have several folks moving in over the next few weeks, which we're excited about. We do have a summer special that if you'll call me at 615-443-1994, or you can even talk to Janet, we can tell you that summer special. If you move in before September 1st, we have a great rate for you. So just give us a call again at 615-443-1994.
Wow, I don't ever remember you.
Well,
doing
I'm
this.
giving a summer special. Yeah, I decided, we've got a couple of rooms we need to fill up. So if you're really interested in assisted living, if you just need a little extra help getting through your day, we'd be glad and honored to serve you at Hartside.
Well, and Janet, I know that you echo that. You'd be glad to get full again. For the most time, y'all have had a waiting list even for assisted living.
We have, but we do have a couple of small rooms available, and we have one medium room.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 615-443-1994. Are we ready for a Hearthside hello?
Joyce Bryan. Joyce Bryan came and played the piano for us Friday for Crystal's 20-year anniversary, and I don't think I've ever given Joyce, Miss Bryan, a Hearthside hello, but she deserves one. So
I don't think you have either, and
So-
I'll agree with that.
So hello to Joyce Bryan. I appreciate her. If she's probably listening, she says she listens to us. So I hope she has a great day, and I really appreciate her coming out Friday and playing the piano for us.
Well,
she's a great piano player.
Yes, she's very good at that and enjoys it and does a great job.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for being with us. And Janet Presley, thanks for coming out today and sharing your thoughts. And we wish you well as you continue serving the people at Hearthside.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sean, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right. Hearthside Senior Living, 215 Castle Heights Avenue. Sean's executive director, and you can reach him again, 615-443-1994. 21 before the hour. Scott Benson is here this morning. If Scott is here, all is well. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
How's your summer?
Yeah, doing great. Enjoying summer so far. It's a little bit of a different type of summer for us at the school district. We're typically summer is a busy time where we can do a lot of planning, push a lot of paper, so to speak, and get things done. And we're still doing those things, but we're also having summer school. We talked about that, I think, last time that I was here on the radio with you last month, and so we're right in the middle of that for this summer. The most robust summer camp, summer school, we're calling it summer camp, that we've ever had, and that came about legislatively this year with coming in a COVID world with school year. So, but it's been a really good summer. So, I looked at the date this morning. It's hard to believe it's June 15th already, and we're gonna blink our eyes, and we're gonna be having our teachers back full swing for next year. So,
does this go through next week? Was it a 4
summer camp? Yeah, we went for 4 weeks, and we started on June 1st. So we end on the 24th. I think that's a Thursday.
Yeah, next Thursday.
Yeah.
So, but a little extra time here, and maybe to get caught up in any that was missed because of COVID, because of things that we had to go through this past school year.
Yeah, exactly, and it's full swing. It looks like school, Coleman. We're running buses, we're serving breakfast, we're serving lunch. It goes all day, 4 days a week. So I've been getting out just a little bit this week and visiting the schools and seeing our teachers and students in action. So
teachers are getting a little bit more to come and do this.
That's correct. That is correct. Yeah, this is extra duty, so that would be above and beyond the expectation of the school year. So the money for that again is coming from the state. The state will many times have mandates that we're responsible for financing, but this case the monies for summer camp came through the state, so that was a very good thing.
Did you have a school board meeting last night?
No, sir, we didn't.
I didn't figure you did, but I wasn't sure. And in the summertime, I'm pretty much got you set in stone for this particular Tuesday.
That's right.
And then I got to thinking I should have called you yesterday to make sure. But you're here, and we're glad. And it's always good to hear from you. And really, I think of the Lebanon Special School District as one of the best. I think we've got a really good thing going here, Scott.
Yeah, well, Coleman, I really appreciate that. I know our people appreciate that, and of course we believe that as well, and we would echo that. A small school district here in Lebanon, and we really know our community and our families, and have excelled over the years, and all sorts of rankings across the state, and so yeah, we've got a good thing going. We've got great people, and it starts with our school board and our staff that supports our hardworking principals and teachers in the classroom. So and at the school level. So I appreciate you saying that.
At what point do you really start bearing down for next school year? I mean, you're supposed to, school is out toward the end of May, a little before Memorial Day, but then you jump right into the summer camp that we were talking about. And then you got to be thinking about next year, but you're supposed to have a little summer vacation.
Supposed. That's a good word. So we've been planning for next school year for months, but to be quite honest with you, and that's a good question because it has been an unusual year. It seems like the last several weeks we've been so entrenched in red tape with ESSER monies and those kind of things and the accountability that goes with that. So in actuality, the planning, the heart of planning for next school year has been pushed back a little bit, but that is currently going on. That was discussed in the office this morning before I left the office, Coleman, to come out here. And but yeah, we're right on target, and we're going to be ready. And our instructional folks are in the office today planning for professional development as we start back next school year. So
you hiring now?
We're almost finished. We've got just about everybody hired, and we like to hire early if we can, and so we start posting jobs in March and April, and try to get the good ones before they land somewhere else. And but yeah, we do have we're going to take some vacation time, and most of the folks in our office will get away for a few days, including me, and so that'll happen over the next couple of weeks after summer school is out. We'll do that and try to take a few days, most of us, and get away.
Really thinking here about maybe the last weeks. We looked at the calendar here, the last part of June and the first 3 days of July.
There you go.
Then 2 more weeks there, and then by then it's full swing into next year.
It's full swing, and it is, and it's really full swing starting July the 12th, and that's the day our principals come back, and we have my calendar is tight starting July 12th with meetings and professional development and planning for next year with our principals as they come back and our instructional folks and central office team. So that's pretty typical. We're typically in the summer, Coleman, just because you don't have full school, even though we have summer camp going on, it does have a different feel to it. If you noticed, I'm dressed a little more casually today.
Yes, you
are. So we have a little more casual attitude, I guess, as well to go with that. But
well, you're dressed for the summertime.
There you go.
We got to take a break. Scott Benson, Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District, is with us. We've got more to talk about after this break here on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And at 7:47, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and that low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now in traffic, here's Chuck.
Right on schedule, actually, 24 westbound up through the Hickory Hollow area, all that traffic flow coming in from Rutherford County. Checking your right 40 eastbound near 65 there in the Midtown area. Church Street at 10th just reported. Riley Parkway at ramp at Centennial Boulevard. That wreck is in its clearing stages. Ripley's Aquarium, Sleep of the Sharks Family Edition is perfect for the kids and the grandkids. Check it out at Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
At Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, world-class care is a heartbeat away. In fact, we offer the same world-class attention Middle Tennessee has come to rely on from a Vanderbilt Health Hospital. Supported by over 200 specialties, an expanded emergency department staffed with Vanderbilt Health physicians 24/7, and greater investments in life-saving technologies and care. It's just one more way we're making healthcare personal.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Scott Benson is here this morning again, the director for the Lebanon Special School District. I don't know what else we particularly got to talk. Well, one thing, what about money? You're always concerned about the bottom line, and I know Steve Jones is. Chairman of the board.
Chair. That's a good question. And actually, we didn't have a board meeting, but I always bring a few notes, just case we're looking for something to talk about, Coleman. But that was one thing that happens in the summer for us, budget process, and that's going on right now. Matter of fact, yesterday I was going over through my budget folder because I have a meeting this morning at 8:30 in the office. Pretty big budget meeting with our finance director and some others as we're planning for next year. But yesterday was also working on our revenue projections for next year. And so we've mentioned this a lot, I think, over the past year, that our revenue projections were really strong. Not our projections, but our revenues that came in really strong this past year, especially our sales tax. And so that's been a plus. And so we're working towards that. So we didn't meet last night, but we do have a June board meeting coming up on the 24th, and we typically do budget amendments to clean up the books as we end the school year in June, and so that's what we'll do on that day. Now, we pass our budget. We officially pass our next year's budget in July, so we'll do that. I think it's July 22nd will be our board meeting then, where we'll pass the budget, but we've been working on that for months, and so I've been having, over the last couple of months, meetings with everybody in the district that has a budget, every department that has a budget. And so today is the day that sort of comes together as we start to put the puzzle together. So that's a good question. And revenues were strong this year, and I think expenditures are going to be a little bit down, maybe because of COVID, for some other reasons, other than our Jones Brummett project, and we knew going into that we were going to spend some fund balance monies to complete that project. So that is the case. So we're going to expect a little dip in our fund balance this year as a result of that. But yeah, you mentioned the bottom line, and we're always concerned with that, and we keep an eye on that monthly, and how we're doing. So I'm very encouraged by at least the initial numbers that we're looking at for next year, both expenditures and revenue. So I think it's going to come together quite nicely.
All right, you got Jones Brummett going online this year, and this might have come about a little bit sooner than we had thought 2 or 3 years ago. But we've had some growth right that's affected you. Probably brought this about a little bit sooner. As you look on down the road, how long before you have any idea when will we need another one sometime?
Oh, yes, we will. We will. And if you'll recall, Coleman, the property where we built Jones Brummett, we also have the back 40, as we call it, there that we will build our next middle school. So that's probably going to be our next build. And we're monitoring that.
So that would give us three.
That would give us 3 middle schools at that point. That's correct.
And that is 6, 7, and 8?
6, 7, and 8. Yes, sir. We have Walter J. Baird, Winfrey Bryant Middle. And so that will be our next school build. And that's the hot question. We don't know that answer exactly. But just like Jones Brummett, because we talked about that for several years before we actually pulled the trigger on the construction. We bought the property in 2015, and then actually broke ground in October of 19, but we were planning and working with the architect for a year or two prior to that. So it takes a while to get that going. So we, to this point with the middle school, all we have is the property. We really haven't done anything else. So to answer your question, I say all that to answer your question. My best guess would be in the next 2 years, probably, we're going to have serious conversations about the planning of that next build. And we'll obviously keep a close eye on enrollment this year. I've stated this on the air, that I expect this year to have more growth, more student enrollment than we've ever had. And that's, several reasons for that. One, coming out of a COVID school year where we lost students. So we think that many students will come back that we lost to homeschool or some other virtual learning platform, et cetera. But also just the growth that you mentioned. And there's not a week that goes by, Coleman, that we don't have people enroll from California and Michigan and Colorado, et cetera. So we're feeling that, we're monitoring that, and we hope we're as successful on our next build, as we have been on this last one, in pinpointing the time and the time frame for that, because I think we hit the nail on the head with this last one, and I hope we can be as fortunate on the next one.
Well, anytime you have a new school, you have additional personnel. And not only just school teachers, but I mean custodians, cafeteria workers, the whole bit. A new school means a whole new community here.
It does, and let me tie that to the budget for you, Coleman. So we had these conversations, and when I say this week, it's just Tuesday. So we had these conversations yesterday, although we had them previously as well. But looking at our budget for next year. In a small district of approximately 4,000 students, approximately 600 employees, just on personnel for next year, our budget is going to be more than $1 million next year than what it was this past year. And that's additional monies that we're going to need to operate, and that included in that would be the opening of Jones Brummett and the new positions that would go with that. Also, teacher and employee raises, because we do that every single year, Coleman. We try to, matter of fact, that's one of the very first things we look at in the budget cycle is taking care of our employees. So don't have an exact figure there yet, but it is in excess of $1 million more, and that's just in personnel. That's not looking at turning on the lights of the new school. That's a big part of it.
Well, some things got curtailed considerably last year, but as you start back to school, you're thinking about what's around August 1st.
August 2nd is a Monday.
All right. What about the social distancing, the mask? Has all that been considered? Have you got anything?
That's been considered. That's another hot question we're asked often as well, and we haven't given a definitive answer to that.
So you haven't concluded for sure yet, because I guess you're weighing what all is happening this summer.
Yeah, well, we jokingly say this at the office. Today, Coleman, is just June 15th, okay? We've got time. The people in the office throw things at me now when I say that. But, for example, in summer camp, we made masks, facial coverings optional for students and teachers alike. And so, with smaller numbers in summer camp, that was easy to do. We're hopeful that we're going to be in this same situation come August 2nd when we start school. Now, we still highly consider and pay attention to hygiene and washing our hands and surfaces and those kind of things, and even social distancing somewhat.
Well, let me interrupt you. Has there been any cases, any reported that?
Coleman, that is a great question, and I'm going to tell you no in the summer, and I hope I'm correct there, but I'm almost positive, because we would have discussed that. I would have been in the no on that.
None, zilch.
Yeah, I don't think we have. Now, we had, right up to the end of school, the regular school year, as we ended, I can tell you that the last week of school was the first week of the school year that we didn't have any quarantines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that was a huge deal for us, and so that's just another indicator of how things continue to improve throughout the year. So we made that decision as we started summer camp that we would relax some of the restrictions and that sort of thing. So we are hopeful moving into next school year that we could do the same thing that we're doing now, which is still paying attention to hygiene, social distancing, those kind of things, but that masks could be optional for those that choose to do that, or those that choose not to do that. And I can tell you, being around some the last few days in the schools, I've seen very few masks.
Yeah.
So, that at this point, I think that's great. That can be a personal choice, and we're not in a situation like we were last November.
We don't talk a lot about the athletic programs, PE, and all this that you have, but I guess that got curtailed some in this last school year. What any changes there, or?
Yeah, no, moving forward again, we're hoping we're going to be normal in that scenario. But yeah, if you'll recall, and we talked a little bit about baseball off the air before we got started this morning, but if you'll recall, not this past spring, because we were full speed ahead with all spring sports this past year. But the previous spring, when COVID first made its presence known here, all of our spring sports shut down.
Yeah.
And so they didn't have an opportunity to play. So, as we went through the school year and as things started to improve, that was very important to us that we could have spring sports, because those guys and girls missed out last school year. And so, we ended the school very normal in that sense. And I guess we were fortunate that spring sports are primarily outside. And so that made it easier as well.
Well, I do notice you got one of the guys that's part of Tommy Bryan's football team. It's, I believe, going to be the new
he
coach.
He is, Coach Gardner. Coach Gardner, and he's been a part of our staff as an assistant, but our head coach moved on, and he's going to be the head coach there, and we will have 2 or 3, maybe 3 assistants that will be teachers on staff there, but he will be our head coach as a non-faculty member.
Well, we've got a minute and a half, Scott, and
so I do have something I'd like to mention, if you'd allow me.
Right ahead.
I mentioned ESSER earlier, and so with the ESSER 3.0 funds, there's a lot of accountability there, and we have to jump through a lot of hoops and keep a lot of documentation, that sort of thing. We've put out a survey, a community survey, and this was required of us to connect with the community on how we spend these funds. So we would like to add to our stakeholder connection, besides the meetings that we've had, the emails, the push out on our app, but we have a survey online. It's on our website. We're also going to add that we spoke of it on the radio, so that's why I wanted to be sure to mention that today, Coleman, so I appreciate you allowing me to do that. But if you are interested in giving us some input on how we should spend our ESSER 3.0 funds, the federal funds, to accelerate learning, make up for COVID loss, etc., for the Lebanon Special School District, go to our website. It's on our news feed, which is in the middle of the page, and I think it's down towards the middle or the bottom now. But go to our survey there, and it's really quick. It won't take you very long, but we would like you to share your input if you would like to do that with us. So thank you for allowing me to say that.
All right. Well, we've come to the end of our time. It's good to see you today, and relaxed here in the summertime before we get into full swing again. So have a great rest of the summer, and we'll see you next month.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coleman.
Scott Benson, Lebanon Special School District. That's it for a Tuesday. Join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a terrific day.